Well, hello there, and welcome to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C. I want to welcome you here to another week, and what a beautiful day here in downtown Greenfield. Another beautiful day and another week where we talk about what is going to happen for fall sports here in Franklin County. Well, I ended up printing off a couple of schedules, and I wanted to really share the difference with you between what the difference is this year between a Greenfield High School field hockey schedule and a schedule from the Franklin County Tech School. And you're going to be very surprised when you find out how these end up really matching each other. And that's because of COVID-19. Want to say a big thank you to Lisa Alber of Alber Hearing Services, located at 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield. Also by Mark and Linda Snow, the owners of the Four Leaf Clover Restaurant. They're open, serving up their great food right there on routes 5 and 10 in Berniston. And by Denny's Pantry, serving up breakfast and lunch 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And outdoor dining and indoor dining is available at Denny's Pantry. All right, well, you know, we talk about how things have changed so much with COVID-19 in local sports, but I got to tell you something. They had to schedule games for the locals to be within the local schools that are in their district that play sports. So what I thought I'd do here today is give you an opportunity to be able to hear me out with the fall sports teams that are playing and the teams that they play. And then we're going to sort of review, after we're done reading these, on the differences in each other's schedule. So what I thought I'd do is I did Greenfield High School and I did the Franklin County Tech School, because the vocational schools have a totally different setup than the regular high schools when it comes to competition. And here is what we're going to do. We're going to run down a sport and then we'll compare each one of the schedules between Greenfield and the Tech. So let's get into girls field hockey at Greenfield. They will play only 8 games. They have an 8-game schedule this year for field hockey. That's it. No playoffs. So they're going to play starting on October 2nd will be their first game against Athol. They also will play the Franklin County Tech School. They play Mohawk. They play Frontier. They play Marhar. They play Turners. And they were supposed to play Smith Academy, but because Smith Academy, the only school in the area that decided to not have any fall sports, now they have to fill a gap. Well, right now, Greenfield still hasn't filled that 8th game. Not sure what the game plan will be with that. What would be cool is you take the 2 top teams that are competing against each other and maybe they play each other, because I think Greenfield will be one of those teams on that open date on October 27th. All right, now I'm going to share something with you that is a little bit different. I'm going to give you the Franklin County Tech School, okay, their field hockey schedule. Now check this out. They normally play a lot of schools that are more lower type divisions. Franklin County Tech will play Pioneer, Greenfield, Marhar, Mohawk, Frontier, and Turners. Huge difference right there in schedules. Normally, Greenfield, Division II, they play West Springfield, Long Meadow, all those schools that are down in the Springfield area, plus some of the locals here. The Franklin County Tech School, they take on all the big powerhouses that are in the area because of COVID-19 and playing against the local teams that have your sport. That is how they set up the sports schedule. So yes, I'll say it again. Franklin County Tech School, they're taking on all the Franklin County teams. They have Pioneer, Greenfield, Turners, Frontier, Mohawk, and they'll also play Marhar as well. So huge difference just right there in field hockey alone. Now let me tell you something. The good thing about this is that the Franklin County Tech School is going to be able to sort of see how good some of these other teams really are. When they go up against Frontier and they go up against Greenfield, they're going to really see how good their programs are. And that's a good thing. And I'm going to tell you why it's a good thing. The Franklin County Tech School is probably the most grown school with a population of students in Franklin County. It's the biggest school for the most students. So if some of these athletes that are looking to be able to get a trade and want to be able to play sports, well, now they can see that they can still get a decent education and be able to pick up something that's going to be valuable to them in the next phase of their lives and still be able to play competitive sports. So this is a great example of how it's going to work this year for field hockey. All right, let's move on to another sport. Let's go to boys fall golf, okay? Franklin County Tech School will take on Frontier, a powerhouse. They will play Hopkins Academy. They will play Greenfield. They will play Turners. They will play Marhar. They will play also against Athol and Mohawk. So, believe it or not, folks, this team, this golf team from Franklin County Tech is pretty good. Got some good golfers over there. So this is going to be very good for them because they're going to be able to see how they compete against all the other kids right here in Franklin County. I'm going to say the powerhouse in this area is Frontier under Coach Bill Fitzpatrick. But I will tell you that this is going to be a good experience for the Franklin County Tech golf team. Now, Greenfield is going to do the same thing. They are going to play the same exact teams as the Tech School. So that's pretty even, right? You know, Greenfield's going to be able to play the same teams that they play. So that's going to work out pretty well. I will tell you this, though. Greenfield usually takes on teams like Munson, which is a powerhouse. Or they'll go and they'll take on Ware and a few of these other schools that are down in Hampshire County and even Hamden County. But because of the schedule and the way things are, it's really going to be a Franklin County Golf League this year for high school golf, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think, honestly, it's pretty good. Now let's talk about cross country. Now, for cross country, they only get 5 meets this year. That's it. They get 5 meets. That's all they're going to get. They got to take on, the Tech School now will take on Greenfield, Hopkins Academy, Athol, Pioneer, and Frontier. So they only have 5 meets this year. They'll start on October 1st, and they wrap things up on, believe it or not, November 3rd. They really spread this one out. But these kids will get 5 meets this year. Unfortunately, there will be no Western Mass, there'll be no states, none of that fun stuff that the kids are used to being able to run after. But the Tech School is going to run with all the locals. Now, one school that I didn't see on here is Mohawk. They are not going to be taking on the Mohawk team. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to tell you what Greenfield's situation is, okay? Because the boys and girls are all doing the same. So that's the one thing I just want people to know, is they're all doing the same, okay? So let's talk about the setup for the girls and boys for cross country Greenfield. Here we go. They got the Tech School, which we already talked about. Now Greenfield, they get 8 meets. The Tech School only gets 5, but they get 8 over at Greenfield. And Greenfield's going to take on Pioneer. They'll take on Marhar. They get Mohawk, where Mohawk is not taking on the Tech School. They get Frontier. They get Hopkins Academy. They get Athol. And then they get an extra bonus match, which will happen on the 7th of November. So here you go. Franklin County Tech gets 5. They get 8 in Greenfield. So they're really shortchanged for a very small season. That's all they're going to be able to get is 5 meets in, where Greenfield gets to get 8. So think about this. We think about how much work the kids put in over the summer, the practice, the work, and you get 5 meets for cross country with no playoffs. Girls are only getting 8 games for field hockey. That's it. And then it looks like the setup is going to be 7 or 8 matches in golf, and that's it. Why? They're all playing local teams that are in Franklin County. The only real schools that are added into this mix, that's it, are Hopkins Academy, based right there out of Hadley, and then your other outskirts is Athol High School, which is right on the other side of Orange. So you really have everything that's in this radius of about 20 miles. That's it. It's a 20-mile radius for all these kids to be able to play sports for the fall. Now, I did take a peek at the basketball schedule, and believe it or not, the basketball schedule is still set up as a regular basketball schedule for the winter like they did last year. But I can guarantee you that will probably change if there's problems with COVID-19 as we get into the winter months. As we start getting into October and into November, and we start getting closer to Thanksgiving, I think we're going to notice a huge difference in scheduling for winter sports, if there's any at all. That is the big question. Will there be winter sports in Franklin County and in Massachusetts? Well, let me share some news with you. Don't know if you know this or not, but we had 900 cases of COVID-19, positive cases over the weekend in Massachusetts. It was one of the biggest weekends of the most COVID cases. People are asking, well, why? They have ramped up the testing in the kids going back to school. And if you look at some of these kids that are going back to school, they started college a little bit later. So now with all the testing that's being done, that counts as a positive test at the colleges that are in the state of Massachusetts. And we have a lot of them. So think about this for a second. If you test positive of COVID-19 and you're at a university, you're going to end up being in a quarantine. You're going to quarantine for 14 days. Then you're going to get retested. Hopefully the antibodies will be good and you're going to be okay. But think about once everybody gets tested and everybody is sort of stuck in a bubble at the school. Does that make it safe for winter sports? I say yes. I say absolutely yes. And the reason why I say yes is you're in a bubble. You're not leaving campus. You're in a situation where you're playing with your sports teams. And I'm going to bring up something for that. And you know what it is? Umass Football, a month and a half ago, said, we're not playing football for 2020. No football at UMass this fall. Well, guess what happened? Yesterday, the University of Massachusetts decided they are going to have football for 2020. No fans in the stands, but they will have football. So, UMass football will be viewable by some outlet that is going to take this on to be available for radio and also for viewers to be able to see on networks. Will it get picked up by somebody locally? Will 22 News decide that they're going to take the games and get a couple of announcers to be able to do them so that they can have UMass football on one of the local networks? That really could happen. But think about this. 6 weeks ago, a lot of colleges across the country said, we're not having football. Then the Big Ten says, yep, we're having football. All of a sudden, ACC, we're having football. SEC, we're having football. Well, guess what? UMass is now having football. If you're in a bubble and you're stuck with a bunch of the kids and you all been tested and you're all staying in the same area and you're all tested negative, why can't you play? You can. You got no fans. It's not like people are going to bring stuff into the stadium because you can't have fans. And the media will be in their own booth. They'll have their own room. They sanitize it for them. There's opportunities for kids to play sports. Don't miss out on the opportunity of playing local sports. And this is where UMass said, yeah, we weren't going to have UMass football 6 weeks ago. And now, as of yesterday, UMass football is a go. So high school sports, as long as it's done right and it's done safe, there's no reason why these kids can't play sports. And if you look at the way it's set up, Franklin County, the lowest number of cases in the area, the lowest of any area in the state of Massachusetts besides the Cape and the islands of Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, believe it or not, folks, is right here in Franklin County. Just a little smidge over 400 total cases since March. These kids should be able to play sports, and we're going to have it go. We'll see how everything rolls out. I am a little disappointed, though. I feel that there's no reason why parents can't go watch their kids with masks. There's no reason why the parents can't be there. And the way the MIAA has rolled out these, they pretty much are telling parents they can't even watch their own kids play. This is where community access TV comes in the way it's supposed to be. It comes in with such positivity because now we can be able to do these games for these kids. We can have it available for grandma and grandpa. We can have it available for mom and dad to be able to see. You know, I think what stinks is the fact that they can't be on the field, but I'm going to tell you what. If you're going to go watch a game at Greenfield High School, you know, you could park on the side and sit on the outside of the fence, social distance with a couple other parents. You can still watch a kid play. You know why? There's nobody in the stands, so you can look right through the stands to watch the field. You go to Turner's, they do it right there. You can see it right from the top of the hill. Watch the kids play. Tech school, park in the parking lot. You can watch the kids play. There's opportunities, parents. Don't miss out on watching your kids play. The rules are a little too strict as far as I'm concerned, but don't miss out on the opportunity. I wanted to bring up this whole case because of the changes that happened on the college level. And I want people to understand that, yes, the numbers have gone up for total cases over this past weekend, but that's because when the kids went back to school last week, when they got their test results back, they had it for the weekend saying, oh, this kid's got it, this kid's got it. How many colleges are there in Massachusetts? A lot. And a lot of those colleges had testing done this past week. So when you saw the numbers over the weekend, you were like, 900 new cases in Massachusetts. It is a pity. That's a big number for one day, for one weekend. I mean, that's a big number. One was over 500 on Saturday. That's because the test results came back from a lot of these universities. So at the end of the day, when you really think about it, you really look at the whole picture, you say to yourself, how are people doing around here with COVID-19 and wearing masks and being safe? I think people have done a pretty damn good job, and I'm very proud to say that Franklin County has been very good. And I also want to say I'm proud of the frontline workers too and the hard work they do. And even my producer, Philippe Simone, who's been working right through this whole pandemic and getting programs and getting information out there for people on public access television. You know, the folks here at GCTV have made a huge commitment to this community. You know why I can tell you that? Did you watch the school committee meeting? Did you watch the library committee meeting? Did you watch the meeting that happened with the town council? Well, guess what, folks? That's all done by Greenfield Community Television, okay? They're getting to those meetings to be able to share those with you. This is the commitment that this place has made to our community. And when we get on here every Tuesday and we have a chance to chat with you guys about what's going on with local sports, we want people to know that there is still sports going on. There is still things that are happening. Matter of fact, I got some youth sports that happened over the week too that I thought was great. And you know, one of the biggest things that is so important is the fact that there is opportunities for the kids to be able to still play fall sports, especially fall baseball and fall softball. That was very successful over the summer, and now it's carried over into the fall. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. This weekend, where it was really, this past weekend was really chilly, right? Well, this weekend coming up, temperatures are going to be around 80 on Saturday. And these kids are still playing fall ball. And we're talking about almost the end of September. And these kids are being able to play fall ball with temperatures in the 80s. That's incredible. So these kids are enjoying their time. Do I think a lot of people jumped the gun at the beginning of the summer on canceling sports? I really do. I still to this day feel like a lot of kids got shortchanged. But the ones who were able to play proved that it can be done safely and effectively. So that's why they continue to run their programs right into the fall. We have Fall Babe Ruth that's happening over in Greenfield, over at Abercrombie Field. We have the Valley Storm. They have their 14U, their 12U, and their 16U teams that are playing fall softball. We have an opportunity for a bunch of clinics to happen within all of the local areas for the rec department. They have these clinics for soccer that are happening. And matter of fact, they start next week, and they're going to run these clinics right through October, giving the kids a chance to get out and play. Of course, the safety guidelines for soccer is pretty scary because it's really not the soccer that you're used to playing, but at least you can get the kids out there to be able to be with other kids and still be able to play. So really, when you think about this week's show, I wanted to sort of give you the X's and O's of what the MIAA and the local school districts decided on doing as far as making it safe and easy for the kids to be able to play their fall sports. As you notice, even the Franklin County Tech School, who normally plays in Division 4, are playing against Division 2 teams by taking on the Frontiers and the Greenfields of the world in sports. And then you end up seeing the teams like Greenfield and Frontier saying, well, we still got to play the Franklin County Tech School. It's someone we normally don't play, but guess what? We still get to play. So you have to look at the good and the bad. And really, as far as I'm concerned, there is no bad. Because you know what the bad would be? No sports at all. That's the bad. Anything besides that is a good. So I want you to do this, folks. I want you to pick up the phone, and I want you to dial this phone number, 774-4288. 774-4288. And I want you to tell Greenfield Community Television how important you would think it would be for them to be able to carry some sports in Franklin County during the fall, and what you think would be a great way to make it good for you as a viewer, knowing the circumstances of this, knowing that you can't be at the game. What would make it special for you to be able to make this happen? Because I'm going to tell you what, I love this place. I've made a commitment to this TV station now, and also to their radio station, for 4 years. This is our 4th year doing this. I've learned a lot about community access television. And what I've learned is that it's truly about community. And do you think that the one thing that would make them feel good is to know that there's parents out there, there's grandparents out there, and community people who love local access TV but care about kids' sports would be able to know that they could be able to watch some of these games knowing that they can't go. So hey, what would it hurt to be able to go on their website, drop a line? Nick Ring is a great guy. He's the executive director. He'd like to hear from you. You know, drop a line and say, hey, I think this would be really great if you guys could do something for us. You know, if you could fit some programming in for some local sports this fall. I know it's only a month because there's not a lot of time, but what can you do? Can you do one a week? It's only 4 games over a month, but hey, it's better than none. The kids are only playing 7 games anyway. So if you can get 4 on out of 7, that's almost over half. But listen, they want to hear from you because they want to know your idea, your suggestion of what would make it good for you. And you know what? That phone number again, I'll give it one more time. 774-4288. And tell them Bobby C sent you, because I'll tell you what, you folks deserve everything, and they deserve to be able to do what they do best, and that is to give you good programming, which they always do, right here in downtown Greenfield. We're very blessed to have Greenfield Community Television in our neighborhood. And trust me, they care about you. Well, there you have it. We're wrapping up another quick session here of the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Thank you to Lisa Albert of Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield, alberthearing.com, also by Mark and Linda Snow, owners of the Four Leaf Clover Restaurant, Routes 5 and 10 in Berniston, serving up their great food right there on Routes 5 and 10, indoor and outdoor dining, and the same at Denny's Pantry, located right there on Berniston Road in Greenfield. Breakfast and lunch, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 7 days a week. For my wonderful producer, Philippe Simone, I'm Bobby C. And listen, we are going to make this happen, folks. Even though we're in a tough time, we're going to do everything we can to make a difference in this community. And you're going to help us. I love you all, and have yourself a great week. Take care.